There you go. Our webinar session is now officially recording. Sorry. Hi. Okay. Huwag na nating patagalin pa. Let's move on to the introduction of our resource speaker. She is a distinguished legal professional that holds a bachelor's degree in law from the University of Nueva Cáceres, with a rich background ranging from paralegal at Aguilar Ranzas Law Office to associate lawyer at Mangubat and Associates Law Office. She brings invaluable expertise to the table. Let's give a warm welcome to our resource speaker, Attorney Julianne O. Fontanares. Attorney, good morning po.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mikes.
Good morning po.
Hi.
The virtual microphone is officially yours po. I will be stop sharing now. Okay. You
Hello,
may
good morning,
start
everyone.
sharing your screen. Okay. Morning.
Wait, I will just share. Nakikita na po? Nakikita na ang screen?
Yes po, attorney.
Okay. Pardon me for some technical difficulties. First time kong mag-webinar. Okay. Sige, let's start po. Ang itatakal natin ngayon is about Data Privacy Act entitled Legal Safeguards, Navigating Data Privacy in the Digital Era from a Legal Lens. So ano ba ang data privacy? Ang data privacy, naririnig pala ako, naririnig ako ng maayos. Okay ang mics ko
Yes
po?
po. Apo, loud
Okay.
and clear.
Thank you, thank you. So, ang data privacy is the right of an individual to control the collection of access to and use of personal information about him or her that are under the control or custody of the government or the private sector. There are three kinds of privacy. First is the locational privacy, which is the physical space in your home, in your car. There's a privacy there that is protected by law. The next one is the decisional privacy, which involves the right to independence in making certain important decision. Ang decision nyo is also covered by privacy. Pero in this case, data privacy only refers to informational privacy. It refers to the things or information about you that you can share. Next slide. Definition of terms. Data subject. It refers to an individual whose personal information is processed. Ibig sabihin, ito yung tao na kinuhanan ng personal information. Personal information here is used as in a general sense because it includes privileged information and sensitive personal information. Ano ba ang personal information? It refers to any information, whether recorded in a material form or not, from which the identity of an individual is apparent or can be reasonably and directly ascertained by the entity holding the information. or when put together with other information would directly and certainly identify an individual. Himay-himayin lang natin to. Material form or not. Ibig sabihin, kapag material form, it's a sheet of paper, sa libro, or kahit sa bato, pwede yan, material form yan. Tapos kapag not, it's in a digital form. Or yung yung kinukuha sa internet. Kinukuha sa iyo dyan sa internet. Okay? Katulad ng Facebook, Instagram, kinukuha nila ang mga personal information ninyo. The identity, the identity of an individual is apparent or can be reasonably and directly ascertained by the entity holding the information. Ibig sabihin, yung information na kinuha sa inyo, it refers only to you and you alone. Tapos, kapag pinut together siya with other information na kinuha sa'yo, it will reasonably ascertain, it will directly and certainly identify you as that person. Okay? That's considered as personal information. Basta, when all information so collected would pertain or would identify a certain individual. Next slide. Personal information controller. It refers to a person or organization who controls the collection, holding, processing, or use of personal information, including a person or organization who instructs another person or organization to collect, hold, process, use, transfer, or disclose personal information on his or her behalf. The term excludes a person or organization who performs such functions as instructed by another person or organization. Ito pala is, kinuha ko to from the law itself. So, ibig sabihin, it is as it is sa law. So, we himay-himayin ulit natin. Okay? Sabi dito, hindi included ang person or organization who performs such functions as instructed by another person. Ibig sabihin, yung inutusan, hindi included sa personal info. Yung inutusan na mag-collect, mag-process ng information is not included sa personal information controller. Ang dahilan is because there is another term for them. May sarili siyang term which you will learn later on. Okay? Number 2, an individual who collects, holds, process, or uses personal information in connection with the individual's personal, family, or household affairs. Hindi siya included as personal information controller because, of course, you're related or living together with this person, so you have the opportunity and the you have the opportunity and wait. Yan, malalaman mo talaga yan. Hindi yan, hindi siya considered ng Data Privacy Act. Next slide. Yan, ito yung number 1 kanina. Personal Information Processor. Sila yung inutusan lang by another person to process the information. It refers to any natural or juridical person qualified to act as such under this act to whom a personal information controller may outsource the processing of personal data pertaining to a data subject. Yan ang dahilan kung bakit hindi siya kasama dun sa personal information controller. Kasi yung personal information controller, sila talaga yung nagpa-process ng information. Ang personal information processor, sila yung inuutusan lang. Ang difference kasi is ang personal information controller, sila yung pwede mong habulin in case na magkaroon ng data breach. Okay? Sila processor lang sila. In case may data breach naman sila, they can be still held liable, okay? Parang parang BPO. Ina-outsource lang yung processing ng information. Okay? They they hire another company to do the processing. The word processing refers to any operation or any set of operations performed upon personal information, including but not limited to the collection, recording, organization, storage, updating or modification, retrieval, consultation, use, consolidation, blocking, erasure, or destruction of data. Basically, anything that happens to your personal information is considered as processing. From the time of collection, pati ang storage, considered as processing. The process of storing your personal information are considered processing. Sensitive personal information. It refers to personal information about an individual's race, ethnic origin, marital status, age, color, and religious, philosophical, or political affiliation. So yan, very basic information but still considered as sensitive personal information. Okay? Number two, about an individual's health, education, genetic or sexual life of a person, or to any proceeding for any offense committed or alleged to have been committed by such person. The disposal of such proceedings or the sentence of any court in such proceedings. In a barangay setting, halimbawa, nabalitaan mo na pinagchichismisan ka ng barangay na meron kayong personal family problems. And ang alam mo na kayong dalawa lang ang nakakaalam at saka yung chairman. At alam mong hindi naman yun ipagkikwento sa ng kapamilya mo. So, in that case, you have reasonable belief na yung nagkalat ng information was the barangay chairman or the barangay, or you can go against the barangay chairman or the barangay as a whole. Okay? Because they are disseminating sensitive personal information. Kasi included siya dito sa sa sensitive personal information, court proceedings, and any offense committed or alleged to have been committed. Number three, issued by government agencies peculiar to an individual, which includes but not limited to social security numbers, previous or current health records, licenses or its denials, suspension or revocation, and tax returns. I don't know about social security number, but um, tax return, syempre, and your current health, they are considered sensitive personal information. Hindi ko lang sure kasi like social security numbers kung is is there really any effect. Pero definitely, kapag binigay mo ang social security number mo, it pertains to you. So you can be identifiable. Is it sensitive personal information? But according to the law, it's considered as sensitive personal information. Number four, specifically established by an executive order or an act of Congress to be kept classified. Any executive order or future orders of the Congress are considered sensitive, that they consider sensitive personal information. Privileged information. It refers to any and all forms of data which under the rules of court and other pertinent laws constitute privileged communication. It refers to privileged communication. It refers to that I know of is husband and wife, lawyer-client, doctor-patient, priest-penitent. all information or communication that you make with them or you impart with your client, or with your lawyer, with your doctor, with your priest, and with your spouse are considered privileged information. It also includes any other privileged communication that the rules of court or laws may deem privileged in the future. As to the information, all types of personal information all types of personal information are covered by the Privacy Act, but with several exceptions. This act does not apply to the following. Letter A, information about any individual who is or was an officer or employee of a government institution that relates to the position or functions of the individual, including the fact that the individual is or was an officer or employee of the government institution. Um, Itong letter A, it pertains to government employees because their informations are not considered as um, um, government employees are considered as public officers. So people have the right to scrutinize their affairs, but only relating to their office, position, and functions. Because public office is public trust. So they have the if you have any question, please feel free to to chat to post your questions on the chat box. What are the potential risks? What are the potential risks as what are the potential legal risks associated with using different online services and platforms? Um, Usually it depends naman kung ano ang mga risk na pwede niyong makuha. Ma, kasi usually it's about ang gusto ko lang na ano yun is about fraudsters. They make use of your personal information to get money or something. So your credit card numbers and everything. That's very one of the potential risk na makukuha mo when you when you when you share your personal information, online services and stuff. So just be careful when sharing your personal information. But here in the data privacy, we will try to give you your rights so that you can go against or makahabol ka. Habulin mo yung mga tao na nanloloko or possible na ginagamit yung mga personal information mo. Okay? Not only that, personal information, data privacy can also go against the personal information controller and the personal information processor who made the leak of the personal information. Okay? Okay. Let's continue. The fact that the individual is or was an officer or employee of the government institution, the title, business address, and office telephone number of the individual, the classification, salary range, and responsibilities of the position held by the individual. Of course, para malaman mo din kung within the means pa ba ang nangyayari. Anyway, you know, under Article 9 ng Constitution natin, public office is a public trust. Article 9, Section 1 ng Constitution, 1987 Constitution, public office is a public trust. Public officers and employees must at all times be accountable to the people, serve them with utmost responsibility, integrity, loyalty, and efficiency, act with patriotism, justice, and lead modest lives. So, kaya kailangan yung mga information na yan or hindi siya covered ng Data Privacy Act kasi the people have the right to know. Okay? Next slide. 4. The name of the individual in a document prepared by the individual in the course of employment with the government. Here in number 4, kapag nag-a-apply ka pa lang naman sa government, ang 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 hindi lang covered ng Data Privacy Act is your name, pero the rest that is the rest of the information that you put on the document is covered by the Data Privacy Act. Letter B. Information about an individual who is or was performing services under contract for a government institution that relates to the services performed, including terms of the contract and the name of the individual given in the course of the performance of those services. Yan yung mga nagbi-bidding pa yan kapag gusto nila ng government contract. For example, ang DPWH, before naman sila pumasok dyan sa kontrata na yan, nagbi-bidding sila. All persons na nag nag-submit ng bidding nila, their information are not covered by Data Privacy Act, including the contract, including the terms of the contract, pangalan ng individual na nagbidding, tapos all information na nakuha during the course of the performance of those services. Okay? Letter C, information relating to any discretionary benefit of a financial nature, such as the granting of a license or permit given by the government to an individual, including the name of the individual and the exact nature of the benefit. Ito, letter C, hindi siya covered ng Data Privacy Act kasi ang mga beneficiaries, ang mga benefit ay ino-audit yan. Ang mga benefit na nakukuha natin sa government ay ino-audit yan. So, hindi siya covered ng Data Privacy Act para ma-audit or ma-verify kung totoo ba na itong beneficiary na ito is qualified to receive government subsidies or benefits, and if so, na-receive ba talaga nila yung full amount. Okay? Letter D, personal information processed for journalistic, artistic, literary, or research purposes. Ito, kasama to because hindi to kasama sa Data Privacy Act kasi tinatry ng batas natin na i-uphold ang freedom of speech, of expression, and of the press. Okay? Pero, of course, they are subject to the requirements of the law and regulations. May mga fina-follow din naman silang rules when it comes to their reports or journals. Dapat yung mga statements or reports na gagawin nila should be based from a verified source. And it must not be intended to malign. Yung intention niya lang is to malign the reputation of another person. It's against their rules. So kapag ang personal information mo nakasama sa sa dyaryo, as long as hindi lang siya ginawa to malign your reputation, but to inform the public, but also to inform the public of what it's not considered as a data privacy breach, okay? Letter E. Ano legal cases for them? legal cases for them. What do you mean? What do you mean na legal cases for them? Kapag nagkaroon ng breach sa Data Privacy Act ang gagamitin mong case, ang gagamitin mong source ng iyong iyong case. So, usually it's civil damages, or if it's a criminal case, then it's a criminal case using the Data Privacy Act. Right? Is it necessary that all forms shall have the RA? What do you mean? Di ko gets yung tanong. Pero, ano mo muna, i-clarify mo muna ang questions mo and we'll get back to you, okay? Where were we? Letter E. Information necessary in order to carry out the functions of public authority, which includes the processing of personal data for the performance by the independent central monetary authority and law enforcement and regulatory agencies. Anyway, etong E and F na to, it's about the functions of public authority, about financial, it's about financial, financial institutions. They have the right to access your information, but it will of course um, not abridge your right on this. For example, the bank secrecy law, they will still take that into consideration. Pero kailangan lang yan is kasi para maiwasan nga yung money laundering, but it should also mean to include any other future laws or crimes that the Congress or executive issuances or regulation may pass to avoid any other crimes. So, kaya ganyan yan ka broad yung mga yan because it includes future laws that the Congress may pass, right? Personal information originally collected from residents of foreign jurisdiction in accordance with the laws of those foreign jurisdictions. Personal information originally collected from residents of foreign jurisdictions in accordance with the laws of those foreign jurisdictions, including any applicable data privacy law, which is being processed in the Philippines. So, ito, nagre-refer to sa information na kinolekta ng ibang bansa. Pwedeng Pilipino, pwedeng foreigner, pero bakit hindi siya covered ng Data Privacy Act? Because the data privacy of the said foreign jurisdiction where the data was collected is applicable to that personal information. Ibig sabihin, ibig sabihin, kung saan kinolekta yung yung information, yung personal information, yung yung foreign jurisdiction or yung bansa na kung saan kinolekta yung personal information is applicable. Okay? As to the collector or processor, natural natural persons, ito yung yung tao born from the womb, yung living and breathing person. Okay? Tapos ang juridical person is from law or from registration. From law, registration, like corporation, partnership, organizations, associations, considered siya as juridical person. So, ang natural, tao. Ang juridical is an organization or an entity separate from the individual, from an individual person. Okay? Private or government. So, basic, kahit private corporations yan, private companies yan, nagpo-collect sila ng personal information, covered sila ng data privacy law. As to jurisdiction, if the collection or processing happens in the Philippines, yes, automatic yan siya. Pero kapag ang collection or processing happens outside of the Philippines, it depends. It depends. Extraterritorial application. So, ito yun yung sagot sa number 2 kanina. The act, practice, or processing relates to personal information about Philippine citizen or a resident. Ibig sabihin nitong extraterritorial application is kahit nasa ibang bansa ang nagkulat ng information mo, pwede silang mahabol. If any of the following, if any of the following circumstances applies. Okay? Lahat naman siguro tayo dito, Filipino citizen. Okay. Kung yes, then kahit sa ibang bansa, kinolekta yung information mo, or kahit sa ibang bansa yung nagkolekta ng information mo, D- DPA or Data Privacy Act is applicable. Letter B, the entity has a link with the Philippines, and the entity is processing personal information in the Philippines, or even if the processing is outside the Philippines, as long as it is about Philippine citizens or residents such as but not limited to the following. So, kahit nga hindi Filipino citizen, as long as resident ng Pilipinas, kahit foreigner yan, tapos resident siya ng Pilipinas, ang data privacy nag-a-apply din sa kanila. Ang letter B, saka letter C, it refers to the personal information controller or the personal information processor. Because DPA or the Data Privacy Act is not just about the data subject. It also tackles about the obligations of the personal information controller and the personal information processor. So, halimbawa, ang personal information processor, halimbawa, ang personal information processor is from a foreign jurisdiction. Kapag nagkuha sila ng mga information ng Filipino citizens or residents of the Philippines, they are still covered by the Data Privacy Act. An entity that has a branch, agency, office, or subsidiary in the Philippines. Also, it will help us, no, kapag ang kapag halimbawa nagkaroon ng data breach tapos merong subsidiary or branch ang personal information controller dito sa Pilipinas, pwede mo siyang habulin dito. So, basically, it will guide us kung sino ang kailangan natin habulin. Anyway, ang ano pala, ang lahat ng personal information controller at saka lahat ng personal information controller, may ina-assign silang isang tao na na authorized or um, nag-handle or pwede mong kausapin in case there is a data breach. So, ang number niya, ang contact number niya, ang email address niya, ang pangalan niya is dapat available to you once na kinokolekta yung information mo. Just in case na magkaroon ng data breach. Pwede mo silang kausapin. Okay? You can email them, you can message them kapag nagkaroon ng data breach. General data privacy principles. One, dapat, general data privacy principles, ito dapat yung mga dapat na tinitingnan ng personal information controller when processing your personal information. Dapat meron legitimate purpose. Ibig sabihin, yung processing ng personal information mo must be declared. Kapag kinukuha nila yung information, it must be declared and ibinibigay sa iyo kung ano ang purpose, yung specified purpose kung bakit niya kinokolekta yung personal information mo. Tapos dapat hindi siya contrary to law, morals, or public policy. Transparency. Data subject must be aware of the purpose and extent of processing. So, um, ibig sabihin yan, kapag kinolekta yung personal information mo, dapat alam mo kung para saan siya, tapos dapat alam mo din kung hanggang saan nila gagamitin yung personal information. Proportionality. Dapat yung information na kinolekta sa'yo, dapat yung adequate lang, yung tama lang, relevant lang. Halimbawa, nag-open ka ng, nag-open ka, nag-sign in ka, I mean, ano ba tama, sign in ka ng isang account. Tapos, before you can enter or access the platform, hinihingan ka na ng mga credit card information mo, despite the fact na hindi naman talaga kailangan yung credit card information, there's no proportionality there. Ang proportionality di dapat, kung ano lang ang kailangan nilang information, yun lang din naman ang kailangan nilang kunin sa iyo. Kapag sumobra, you can ask them kung what's the purpose, kung bakit kailangan nilang kunin yung personal information na yun. Okay? Criteria for local processing of personal information. Number one, consent. Eto pala, ang criteria for local processing of personal information. Ibig sabihin nito, for the processing to be lawful, any of the following conditions, yan yung pitong yan. Any of the following conditions must be complied with, meaning the presence of one or any of these conditions, it is already considered as lawful processing. Number one, consent. Yan, kapag pumayag kang kunin yung personal information mo kahit hindi siya mandated by law, kahit wala kang legal obligation to give. Ang madalas na nagkakaroon ng ganyan is yung mga social media platforms natin, by consent yan. Letter B, contract with the individual. Ito, kapag pumasok ka sa isang kontrata, in order to fulfill your obligations under the contract, or um, in order to fulfill your obligations in the contract, kinukuha nila yung personal information mo para para nga ma-fulfill mo yung obligation mo sa kontrata. So, in a way of speaking, it's also considered as consent. Kasi kapag pumasok ka sa isang kontrata, it must be at your own will, in your own will. Okay? Number three, legal obligation. The processing is necessary for compliance with a legal obligation to which the personal information controller is a subject. So, legal obligation, kapag may legal obligation, ibig sabihin, under the law, may kailangan kang gawin. So, may kinukuha yung personal information mo. Yan, wala yan na consent kasi legal obligation siya. Tanong ko lang pala sa host, meron ba tayong break? Brad?
Sure po, sir. Ay, attorney.
Pwede
Sure po,
mag-break muna
pwede
tayo
naman.
mga 5 minutes?
Okay,
Medyo
okay po.
sige, sige.
Okay po. Bio break po muna tayo. Mga 5 minutes po. Pwede tayong bumalik dito.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay.
Hello, hello.
Hello, attorney. Okay, we're back.
Hello po. Okay na?
Ah, okay na, ready ka
Okay.
na po?
Yes po, yes po. Kayo, ready na po
Okay.
kayo?
Yes po. May mga questions po, attorney. Would you like to address them or later na lang sa Q&A natin?
Sige, check po, check. Nasa Q&A yan. Hindi pa ba ito nasagot? What potential consequences can individuals face for data breaches? This will be tackled later on. Etong potential consequences, tatakal siya later on. Is it necessary that all forms shall have TRA 10173? Ito yung tinatanong ko kanina. Bakit lahat ng forms should have
Yung sa
RA
baba, yung sa baba,
10?
attorney, ata, yung follow-up niya, question.
Okay. If there's a form issued from a private company, NGO, non-governmental organization, let's say, for example, that they have said that it is only in reference for a study to be conducted by another company of outsourcing, and the Data Privacy Act RA 10170 wasn't iterated. Still, your privacy company insisted you to fill out your social demographic information. What do you suggest to do? What seems faulty on this, if none? What would have been a more of a proper approach? Dami. Okay, wait. If there's a form issued from a private, may ko lang ha, kasi ganyan ako kapag nag-aan eh. Let's say, for example, that they have said that it is only in reference for a study to be conducted by another company. You can always decline naman if it's about a study. Especially kung hindi nga nila ilinagay yung data privacy yung privacy notice or yung consent form na pumapayag kang kunin yung personal information mo subject to the Data Privacy Act. You can always decline their or you can always um not give your consent. Don't give your consent kapag ganyan. If ever naman, ang magandang gawin dyan is to check kung may data protection officer sila. Yan yung sinasabi ko sa inyo, yung authorized agent na pwede niyong pagsabihan or pwede niyong kausapin to clarify kung paano nila pinaprotektahan inyong ang inyong personal information. Basta don't share sensitive personal information or any personal information you don't like sharing. Okay? Just clarify it with the data protection officer kung may mga tanong kayo about sa kung paano nila ina-handle ang inyong personal information. Okay? John Bebon F. What are the ethical considerations involved in the collection, use, and storage of personal data? Ethical considerations. Ethical. Ang mga ethical consideration involved in the collection, use, and storage of personal data. Well, basically, it's um kailangan mo lang na medyo ako sa tanong na ethical consideration because masyado siyang theoretic. Kapag sa batas naman natin, it's not theoretical eh. It's law. And big sabihin meron talagang batas na kailangan natin sundin. So ethical consideration is it had been tackled by the Congress. I am not a legislator, so I did not tackle ethical consideration. I basically apply the law as it is, as it was given. Uh, okay. Siguro siguro I will have to do some research on on the ethical consideration na kinonsider ng ating legislators. Hindi kasi siya hindi siya public information unless pinanood mo siya online or habang ginagawa nila yung butas. Pero it was way back 2010, 2011. So, it was a very long time. For instance, I shared my email address and contact number to a friend via personal message kasi re-refer daw po niya ako as a resource speaker. Then suddenly, pinost niya online and nakareceive ako ng mga malicious emails. Is this a violation of data privacy? Well, ang usapan niyo ba ni friend is magiging speaker ka? Baka actually, ang email address and contact number is considered as covered by the Data Privacy Act. So, since binigay mo siya sa iyong friend, which um, which is an individual covered by the Data Privacy Act, as I discussed a while ago, kung yan, shinare niya online at meron kang ebidensya na shinare niya online ang iyong personal information without your consent, then you can go against the person, the individual who caused the leak of your personal information. Kasi etong mga nagsisend sa'yo ng mga malicious emails, it was maybe because of the leak of your personal information online. Okay? Nasagot ko ba? Anyway, kapag may hindi naman ako nasagot, you can just get go give me another question, okay? What are the limitations of law enforcement individuals? What are the limitations of law enforcement individuals when they are conducting investigation of certain individual or company? How is the Data Privacy Act applied to this kind of scenario? Well, when it comes, we will tackle this later on, pero sasagutin ko na siya, okay? Um, Law enforcement individuals po, um, when it comes to a criminal case, Data Privacy Act does not apply. Kasi when they are investigating a person, any and all information that they've gathered is for the purpose of it's a legitimate processing of information. Ang ano lang is siguro is kung paano nila i-store ang information or kung paano nila gagamitin yung information. So, but the taking of the information, the collection of the information is for a legitimate purpose. Kung paano lang nila gagamitin yan. So, probably ang law enforcement individuals also has the duty to safeguard the information so collected. Nasa LGU po ako. Need po ba ng data privacy officer sa LGU if hindi digitalized, if i-digitalize na po yung mga info namin para daw po sa HR para mapadali ang aming payroll? Pinagpasagot rin po kami ng data consent form. As far as I know naman, um, data protection officers required um, required only if more than 1,000 personal informations are collected. More than 1,000 data subject are collected. Okay? Pag hindi naman more than 1,000 ang data subject na kinokolekta ng personal information, hindi naman siya required. As far as I know. John Bibon, FYAP, very active. Thank you, attorney, for answering my questions. Kala ko questions pa. Thank you, thank you. You're welcome. Good morning po, attorney. If screenshots of messages about the hate speech and false information, make-up stories, were shared within an office, Oops. What were if screenshots of messages about hate speech and false information were shared within an office of a religious group, shared to other members without the consent of the sharer and the people involved within the conversation. Does this violate the RA 10173 and more? Since the given setting all happened inside the church and as for the victim, could this be considered as damage of integrity? Ganito po yan. Kapag ang isang information is share mo naman freely sa isang tao, kapag ang information naman talaga is share mo freely sa isa or several persons, you, you, you don't, you cannot consider, basically tatakal ko din to mamaya eh. Nasa jurisprudence to. So I will have to, I will answer this later. What are the limitations of the documentation of certain individual or company? How is it well? Nasagot ko na to kanina, di ba? Yung law enforcement individuals when they are conducting investigation. The data collected are for a legitimate purpose. Pero ang process or ang ang storage ng data mo will have to be subject to data private. I mean, everything naman talaga ay ang kinukuha naman ng law enforcement agency subject to Data Privacy Act. Pero the process of collecting the information are considered legitimate. Magkakaroon lang ng breach kapag i-share nila ang information illegally or consent is not necessary naman kasi ang personal information ng isang tao will be um will be processed legally through court. So there. Ito, mamaya na lang. Itong chismis, false information or made-up stories. Okay? We will continue with our report, with our lecture. National emergency, public order and safety as prescribed by law, constitutional and statutory mandate of a public authority, legitimate interest of the peak or third party. So, yan mga hindi na kailangan yan ng consent from number 3 to number 6. Kasi, ano yan eh, um, um, by law siya. So, it's not, consent is no longer required. Ito, legitimate interest of the fake or third parties. Yung fake, yung ano, personal information. Um, subject pa din siguro yan ng consent. Subject pa yan ng consent. As long as ano, legitimate pa din naman siya. Okay. Rights of data subject. Okay, ito yung mga karapatan ng mga data subject. Ito siguro kailangan nating ano, i-focus mga karapatan ng data subject. Unang-una, dapat ini-inform tayo kapag kinukuha ang personal information natin. Pangalawa, may karapatan po tayo na mag-object sa pagkuha ng personal information natin. As long as, okay. Ang right to object, meron din naman siyang limitation. Siyempre kapag legal, ang pagkuha ng information mo is for a legitimate purpose or it's a legal obligation, contract or the one I tackled a while ago, yung hindi na kailangan ng consent, we don't have the right to object. Pero kapag ang mga ang ang right to object pwede mong gawin kapag hinihingi yung consent mo. And the consent was to get your personal information para lang sa alimbawa direct marketing or yung mga mag-aano magbibigay sa inyo ng mga ano yun, mga parang parehas sa Lazada, Shopee, may nagma-market sila ng mga may mga vouchers. So yeah, pwede ka yung mag-object para hindi kinukuha yung personal information nyo and you will not receive the same marketing emails. Right to access to contents, right to access ibig sabihin tayo pong mga data subject, mayroon po tayong karapatan na mag-access ng ating personal information na kinuha sa atin. It includes the content, yung personal information na kinuha sa atin, yung sources, saan kinuha, yung kung sino ang nakakuha ng personal information natin, bakit ibinigay yun sa ibang tao, or bakit ibinigay yun sa ibang personal information controller, reason kung bakit yun binigay, or dinisclose sa ibang recipients. Tapos, importante, pinaka-importante, dapat ma-access mo yung person na pwede mo makausap. The name of the person na at saka yung address ng person or the data protection officer or the PIC. Kapag walang data protection officer, yung personal information controller. Okay? To correct or rectification, parang may mali, outdated yung information, pwede mong i-correct. Erasure or blocking. I will tackle this on the next slide kasi medyo ano siya, medyo lengthy ang ano niya, ang 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 idea ng erasure or blocking. Hindi siya automatic, hindi siya absolute na right. So, sa data portability naman, ito yung yung when the data collected by electronic means and um, in structured format, ito yung pag kinukuha yung personal information mo online through digital collections of your personal data, you have the right, ito yung data portability, you have the right to get a copy of the data that that was collected from you. Of course, in a digital format also. To damages. Yan, ang data subject has the right to damages, to be indemnified of any damages that they may have incurred or sustained due to the data breach, including the inaccurate, incomplete, and outdated or false information obtained from that personal information. Okay? Pero ang damages, tinatake into consideration din ang violation na ginawa ng personal information controller and personal information processor to the rights of the data subject, the the rights and freedom of the data subject. So, sa right to erasure or blocking. Hindi kasi absolute ang right to erasure or blocking. So, ito yung excerpt from the law itself. The data subject shall have the right to suspend, withdraw, or order the blocking, removal, or destruction of his or her personal data from the personal information controller's filing system. Only when, one, this right may be exercised upon discovery and substantial proof of any of the following. The personal data is incomplete, outdated, false, or unlawfully obtained. Yan, pwede mong ipa-erase or i-block yung information or pwede mo ring i-rectify. The personal data is being used for purpose not authorized by the data subject. The personal data is being used for purpose not or yan, no? Kapag hindi ka in-inform kung saan siya, nakita mo na lang ginagamit na yung personal information. for a purpose na hindi sinabi sa'yo. Yan, pwede mong i-block yan. I-erase or block it. The personal data is no longer necessary for purposes for which they were collected. Okay? Kapag tapos na yung purpose na sinabi sa'yo, pwede mo nang pa-erase or pa-block yung information na kinuha. The personal data concerns the data subject withdraws consent or object to the processing, and there's no other legal ground or overriding legitimate interest for the processing. So kapag wala nang ibang pagtapos na, kapag withdraw mo yung consent tapos hindi na kailangan yan or hindi na siya legally mandated, yan pwede mo nang ipalis yung personal information. Personal data concerns private information that is prejudicial to data subject unless justified by freedom of speech, of expression, or of the press, or otherwise authorized. So, same. Yan yung sinasabi ko sa inyo about sa dyaryo na kapag kinuha yung ginamit yung pangalan mo sa dyaryo but it is for legitimate journalism, it is justified. So, unless yung ano yung sinasabi ko sa inyo, unless ang intention lang talaga ng pag-post or paggamit ng pangalan nyo sa dyaryo is to malign your reputation and nothing else, then yan, pwede pa yan. Pwede nyo yung ipa-erase or i-block or if it's better to file automatically because it maligns your reputation. Libel na yan. Wag na data privacy, libel. Pero ito, may right pa din kayo to the erasure or blocking. Cyber libel. The processing is unlawful. So, yung pagkuha mismo from the start is unlawful. So, pa-erase nyo agad. The personal information controller or personal information processor violated the rights of the data subject. Mamaya, bibigay ko sa inyo kung ano yung mga violations na nagagawa ng mga personal information controller or personal information processor. Number 2, the personal information controller may modify The personal information controller may notify third parties who have previously received such processed personal information. So kapag pina-erase or pina-block mo yung information, the personal information controller should notify the third parties who have previously received such information, personal information. Okay? Number 25, transmissibility of rights of the data subject. So, halimbawa, namatay or otherwise naging incapacitated yung tao na violate yung rights, pwede siyang pwedeng pumalit sa kanya or mag-pursue ng case niya yung mga heirs or assigns niya. Okay? Kaya hindi naman ibig sabihin na porket namatay na or incapacitated na hindi na pwedeng ipaglaban yung karapatan. Pwede mo pa rin naman siyang ipasa sa ibang tao or yung ibang tao kumuha ng responsibility to to pursue the claim due to the data breach. Exemptions. Ito, it speaks of two exemptions. First is the immediately preceding sections are not applicable if the processed personal information are used only for the needs of scientific and statistical research. And on the basis of such, no activities are carried out and no decisions are taken regarding the data subject. So, ibig sabihin, wala namang ginawa dun sa personal information na kinuha nyo, pero ginamit lang siya for statistical and research, scientific research. Pero wala naman ng ibang ginawa dun sa sa information na kinuha sa inyo. So, yan, hindi siya kasama sa Data Privacy Act. Ito yung pangalawa. The immediately preceding sections are not applicable to processing of personal information gathered for the purpose of investigations in relation to any criminal, administrative, or tax liabilities of a data subject. Ito yun na yung nagtanong kanina about sa law enforcement agencies. When it comes to criminal, administrative, or tax liabilities of a data subject, Data Privacy Act is not applicable. Okay? For the purpose of investigation, principle of accountability. Each personal information controller is responsible for personal information under its control or custody, including information that have been transferred to a third party for processing, whether domestically or internationally, subject to cross-border arrangement and cooperation. Okay, ang ibig sabihin lang niyan, ang person na accountable when it comes to personal information is the personal information controller. Kahit pa yan na-transfer sa ibang company or ibang bansa, kahit sa ibang bansa pa na yan, subject to cross-border arrangement or kahit pa transfer siya to a third party for processing, yung personal information controller pa din ang accountable if there's any data breach. Penalties. Unauthorized processing, ibig sabihin without your consent or without any legitimate purpose, kinuha yung personal information mo. When it comes to personal information, 1 to 3 years. Thus, when it comes to sensitive personal information, 3 to 6 years with 500,000 or 2 million, depending. Tapos kapag sensitive personal. Anyway, basahin nyo na lang yan. Ang importante dito is the unauthorized, itong mga violation. Kapag ang access is due to negligence lang naman, punishable pa din siya ha. Kahit dahil lang nagkamali ka or due to negligence lang, punishable po. Yan. Improper disposal, hindi maayos yung pag-delete ng mga information. May ibang naka-access, improper disposal. Or kahit wala pang ibang naka-access dahil lang improper ang disposal, punishable po yan. Processing of unauthorized for unauthorized purposes, unauthorized disclosure, concealment of security breach, unauthorized access or intentional breach, malicious disclosure, combination or series of the acts, 3 to 6 years, 1 million to 5 million. Mataas ang penalty for violation of the Data Privacy Act, but um, mamaya na lang. Doctrine of administrative exhaustion. Ibig sabihin po niyan, all cases involving if there's an administrative agency concerned when it comes to your reklamo or complaint, you file you file first with the administrative agency concerned. For example, kapag employment yan, labor problems, you go to the labor arbiter or the NLRC. When it comes to Data Privacy Act, you go to the National Privacy Commission, or you can first um, message the data privacy officer concerned, or if not, if you're so maligned or you're so your information was there was a total breach of your trust of that person or that personal information controller or individual, you can go directly to the National Privacy Commission. Then after the National Privacy Commission court case, if not satisfied with the decision of the National Privacy Commission, you can go to the courts, regular courts. Jurisprudence. Um, Article 8 ng Civil Code natin, lahat ng decision ng Supreme Court when it comes to any matter ng it ang decision ng Supreme Court, it forms part of the law of the land. So ibig sabihin ng decision ng Supreme Court, it has strength or pwede mong pagkuhanan ng basis when you're filing a case. But in so far as the Data Privacy Act is concerned, napaka-konti pa po ng jurisprudence na meron tayo. 2012 pag ginawa ang Data Privacy Act, 2016 lang nagkaroon ng IRR, if I'm not mistaken. So, konting-konti pa talaga ang jurisprudence ng Data Privacy Act. Masyado pa siyang hilaw. Okay, jurisprudence. Ito ay NPC case lang siya pero maganda siya kasi very simple lang ang nangyari dito. Yung yung birth certificate ay itong si JB nag-request siya ng birth certificate sa SM kasi yung SM is an accredited partner ng PSA. So nag-request siya ng birth certificate sa SM. And then, nung kukunin niya na yung birth certificate, nakita niya na lahat ng birth certificate nakalagay lang sa isang corner. Um, lahat magkakahalo lang, magkakapatong-patong lang lahat ng birth certificate. It's open for anyone to see. Pero may takip naman. Pero nakikita niya na ganun yung sitwasyon ng birth certificate niya. Wala man lang, ang ano niya is, wala man lang separate envelope for each birth certificate. Pinaghalo-halo lang talaga siya. So, nung kukunin niya na, hiningaan siya ng pangalan, ng address, ng telephone number or contact number. Nagrereklamo siya. What is the purpose ngayon ng pagkuha mo ngayon ng telephone number, ay ng contact number ko or ano, what's the purpose ngayon? Nung hindi sinabi sa kanya na for formality lang to, parang ano lang to, we're just following the rules. Wala na siyang nagawa kasi hindi naman talaga sa kanya ibigay. So, binigyan niya lang yung personal information niya dun sa teller yata. Ang tawag dyan. Sige. Um, ang ruling ng ng NPC. NPC lang to, National Privacy Commission, hindi pa to sa Supreme Court. Ang ruling ng NPC is there was no data breach. Kasi although there are some lapses on the part of the SM store, those lapses do not amount to a criminal or to the criminal breach of data privacy. You should read this case. It's good naman. As far as I know, there's still yet no conviction of under the Data Privacy Act. As far as I know, as far as I have researched recently, there's still no conviction of the involving Data Privacy Act that has reached the Supreme Court. Pero there are some convictions before the lower court. So kapag yan dinala yan sa Supreme Court, magkakaroon na tayo ng mga jurisprudence. Okay? Ito pala, CATS test. CATS test. Maganda tong CATS test. The reasonableness of a person's expectation of privacy depends on the two-part test. One, whether by his conduct, the individual has exhibited an expectation of privacy. And two, whether this expectation is one that society recognizes as reasonable. So, expounding on the CATS test, yung Ople versus Torres, pero syempre hindi to about sa Data Privacy Act, about lang to sa privacy in general, okay? The factual circumstances of the case determines the reasonableness of the exemption expectation. However, other factors such as customs, physical surroundings, and practices of a particular activity may serve to create or diminish this expectation. In this case, the complainant choose to apply for his birth certificate in SM Store, an accredited partner of the PSA. In doing so, the complainant is considered to have given his consent to SM Store to process his request to get a birth certificate from PSA. He was aware that the processing shall be for the purpose of issuing and releasing his birth certificate to him or to his duly authorized representative. Thus, SM Store, as an accredited partner of PSA, processed complainant's birth certificate according to one of the local criteria set out in the Data Privacy Act. Basically, ang dahilan hindi siya masyadong nag-correspond sa ang CATS test, ibig sabihin dapat may um reasonable expectation of privacy ka. Yun yung CATS test. So, when applied to this case, dito kay JB versus JR as the, JB versus JR, kapag nag-apply ka kasi sa SM Store, talagang madaming tao dyan and their processes are very open lang siya. Um, you cannot expect, this is locational privacy ba? You cannot expect privacy in such setting. Kaya nga dito sa Ople versus Torres sinabi dapat kasama sa ang mga circumstances na kailangan mong kasama sa mga kailangan mong i-determine is itong customs, yung physical surroundings ng SM, yan, practices or particular activity. Practice na yan ng SM store na ganyan lang ang nila. Pero of course, winarnan din naman ng NPCC SM store to follow the procedures in handling sensitive or any and all kinds of personal documents that has personal information. So basically nakuha niya din naman yung gusto niya. It's the SM store has been warned to follow the Data Privacy Act rules and make their own rules when it comes to handling of personal information. Okay? Dito tayo sa Vivares versus St. Teresa's College. The individual's desire for privacy is never absolute, since participation in society is an equally powerful desire. Thus, each individual is continually engaged in a personal adjustment process in which he balances the desire for privacy with the desire for disclosure and communication of himself to others. In light of the environmental conditions and social norms set by the society in which he lives. So, in this era, napakadali nang mag-share ng mga information online on social media platforms. By the way, this case is still not about Data Privacy Act, but ay hindi pala still kasi yung kanina Data Privacy Act pero hindi from the Supreme Court kundi from NPC. This one is not about Data Privacy Act but is still about informational privacy, which is the the which is the DPA is about informational privacy. In this case, the Supreme Court, yung kung may hindi nakakaalam kung paano gumagana ang Facebook, pwede niyong basahin tong Vivares versus St. Teresa's College because in this case, the Supreme Court lengthily describes how Facebook works. And also, in-inform din tayo na ini-inform din tayo kung paano gumagana ang ano yun, yung share to all, yung privacy tools yan, privacy tools. Tinuturuan tayo na kapag ayaw natin na makita ng ibang tao, dapat i-only me mo lang yan. So, okay. Basta kapag hindi nyo alam gumamit ng Facebook, yan, basahin nyo ang Ibarras versus St. Teresa's College. Madami kayong matututunan dyan. Okay. In this case, um, um, may mga graduating, ay, magka-graduate pa lang sila. Tapos, graduating sila. Tapos, yung, yung classmate niya or their friends, pinakita niya yung mga pictures sa teachers na naka, lima ata silang magkakaibigan. Tapos pinakita yung picture nila na naka ano lang, na naka undergarments lang, nag, nakikita yung ano yung may mga body exposure, tapos merong mga pictures na pinapakita na nasa bar sila, umiinom ng alcohol, naninigarilyo. Eh since ito ay sa Catholic school, kinuha niya, si teacher, kinuha niya yung mga pictures from the Facebook of the friend of a student, not named kung sino yung student na yun. Kinuha niya, tapos he was not even presented in court. Pinakita niya yung mga pictures na yun. Tapos, pinakita niya yun sa principal pala. Pinakita niya sa principal. This principal or the school decided na wag muna silang pag-graduate. Hindi na muna daw sila gagraduate. Yung mama nitong estudyante, itong graduating student, filed the restraining order against the school. Um, Sabi niya, those are those pictures are posted in the personal account of my daughter. It shouldn't have been, it shouldn't have been used as an evidence against her. So, etong RTC naman nag-rule na okay, i-suspend natin yung ruling ng school na wag muna pag-graduatein yung mga students na yan, mga erring students. Kaya lang, during the graduation day, hindi pa din sila pinayagan ng St. Teresa's College. They made the stand na hindi talaga pag-graduatein itong mga estudyante ito. They filed a motion for reconsideration on the decision of the regional trial court na nagsasabing hindi nila pwedeng hindi nila pwedeng pag-graduatein yung mga estudyante. Pero since hindi nga sila pinasama sa pagpaso, sa pag-graduate, wala na silang nagawa. It's moot and academic. Ang ginawa ng mama niya is nag-file siya ng hindi pala data privacy. Kasi hindi nga to Data Privacy Act. About lang siya sa informational privacy. Na yung with damages to, this is a case for damages against the school and the teacher na naglabas ng mga pictures na yung mga pictures sinabi ko sa inyo. May mga indecent and immoral acts. So, madali. In this case, ang Supreme Court sabi niya, there can be no claim for damages kasi ang mga anak mo ngayon, ang anak mo ngayon, ipinost niya yung mga pictures na yun on her private account. Pero Pero hindi niya naman ngayon sinabi, ay hindi niya naman tinik yung only me. Eh meron naman ngayang option na i-only me. Eh since ngaya hindi niya tinik yung option na only me, ibig sabihin, it is considered as a waiver of her right to privacy. Kasi yung makakakita nun, hindi mo ma, marirequire siya na ano lang siya privacy. Kasi in-upload mo siya eh. Ang nakita ng Supreme Court is in-upload mo yun, pero pinapakita, ang tinik mo is sa friends. Ano, friends of something. Hindi ko na maalala. Basta friends. Only friends. Mga ganyan. Okay? Ito ang ruling ng Supreme Court. Warning na din. It is thus incumbent upon internet users to exercise due diligence in their online dealings and activities and must not be negligent in protecting their rights. Equity serves the vigilant. Demanding relief from the courts, as here, requires that claimants themselves take utmost care in safeguarding a right which they allege to have been violated. These are indispensable. We cannot afford protection to persons if they themselves did nothing to place the matter within the confines of their private soul. OSN or online social network users must be mindful enough to learn the use of privacy tools, to use them if they desire to keep the information private, and to keep track of changes in the available privacy settings such as those of Facebook, especially because Facebook is notorious for changing these settings and the site's layout often. So, ibig sabihin, kahit na inonly mo yan ngayon, dapat chinecheck mo pa din siya. Chinecheck mo pa din siya from time to time because Facebook is notorious for changing these settings. Buti pa ang Supreme Court, alam niya na notorious ang Facebook into changing the settings and saka ng layout ng Facebook. So, okay. Katulad din yan ng CATS test. Kung i-apply natin ang CATS test dito, may reasonable expectation of privacy ka ba kung pinost mo siya online and only friends mo in only friends mo lang yung privacy tools something. So, wala, di ba? So, against yung Supreme Court sa ganun. There is no reasonable expectation of privacy there. Ito na ang last na jurisprudence na nahanap ko. In this case, kasi very recent lang din naman to na katulad ng Supreme Court. Kadahas versus people. Ang Data Privacy Act ginamit as defense ni Kadahas. Ginamit niya lang as defense. So, hindi siya yung main case dito. Hindi ang data privacy ang main case dito. Pero, bagkos, ginamit lang siyang defense. Itong kaso na to, may isang 24 years old si Kadahas, nagtatrabaho siya sa isang canteen sa school. Na-meet niya si Triple A, si A. Nakatago talaga ang pangalan ng ano, especially kapag minor. Si A is a minor, 14 years old. Nung makilala niya si Kadahas. Tapos, sinabihan, yung mga kaibigan daw ni A, sinabi kay Kadahas na may gusto daw si A or may crush daw si A kay Kadahas. Tapos, iniwasan daw ni Kadahas si A. Pero makulit daw tong si A, nag-chat-chat daw sa kanya. By the way, sinabi ko na ba yung edad? Si Kadahas is 24 and A is 14 years old. 10 years age gap. Tapos, merong mga mga chat na nagsasabi na pwede ko bang, ay na anong tamang term? Sinasabihan niya yung minor na mag-send sa kanya ng picture ng mga private parts. Ito naman si AAA, nag-send naman. Nag-send naman ng mga pictures niya. Considering na si AAA is 14 years old and nakikihiram lang ng cellphone ng mama niya, nakalimutan niya siguro mag-log out. Nakita ng mama niya ang mga usapan nila ni Kadahas. Nagalit yung mama niya. Ang ginawa ni AAA, pumunta siya sa pinakamalapit na na internet cafe. Tapos dinilit niya yung mga pictures na pinagsasend niya kay yung mga conversation niya kay Kadahas. So wala na siyang copy nung nung chat nila, mm, nung chat nila. Ang ginawa ni mama ni AAA, pina-open sa kanya yung account ni Kadahas. Yun yung point na yun, yung sinasabi ni Kadahas na invasion ng privacy niya. So ginamit niya ang Data Privacy Act as a defense against sa kaso na isinampa laban sa kanya for RA 7610 yun, Child Abuse saka Cybercrime Prevention Act. Well, na-dismiss yung child abuse na part kasi yung ginamit na na-dismiss yung child abuse na part kasi alam daw ni AAA kung ano yung ginagawa niya at saka hindi daw siya naapektuhan ng mga sinend niya, which is one of the elements ng crime, Section 10 and RA 7610, which is one of the elements ng crime na yun. So, na-dismiss yung kaso na yun, but not based on DPA, not based on the Data Privacy Act, but because of the statement of AAA na hindi siya naapektuhan ng mga pinag-send niya. Pero when it comes to um, the Cybercrime Prevention Act, which involves child pornography, na 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 ano siya, na convict siya for the crime of child pornography. Kasi ang difference kasi ang difference is that ang child pornography is a mala prohibita mala prohibita offense. So ibig sabihin the mere possession of the pornographic materials involving a child is already considered criminal. Yun lang, considered na yun as criminal. Yan, ginamit niyang defense yung yung Data Privacy Act na it's a violation of my privacy. Akin yun na account, hindi dapat yun ginagamit as one of the basis for um for convicting me. Pagdating sa Supreme Court, yun ang ginamit niya. Binaliwala yun ng Supreme Court. Unang-una kasi dapat kung yan ang defense mo sa lower courts pa lang, claim mo na yung ano na yan, yung defense na yan. Tapos, aside from that, may reasonable expectation of privacy ka ba? Samantalang you freely or binigay mo mag-isa willingly with your consent kay AAA yung password ng Facebook mo. Can it be considered as a reasonable expectation of privacy? Ito na ang ruling ng Supreme Court. Considering the voluntary niya ibinigay yung password kay AAA, he in effect has authorized AAA to access the same. He did not even take steps to exclude AAA from gaining access to his account. Having been given authority to access his Facebook Messenger account, petitioner's reasonable expectation of privacy insofar as AAA is concerned had been limited. Thus, there is no violation of privacy to speak of. So, yun, convicted pa din siya ng um, possession of child porn. Okay. Next. Q&A. What are the limitations of law enforcement individuals when they are conducting investigation of certain individual or company? How is a data processing applied to this kind of scenario? What are the limitations when they are conducting investigation of certain individual or company? Well, basically, sa limitation, di ko nga alam kung how they conduct it. You have to have the process kung paano nag-i-investigate ang isang law enforcement agency. But when it comes to the limit kung paano sila mag well, basically yung mga limit na dapat siguro proportional lang sa kailangan niyang information, ang kukunin niyang information, mga basic limitation na sinabi ko na kanina, yung proportional lang, dapat for a legitimate purpose, it still applies naman. Hindi naman porket law enforcement agents individuals kaya you're no longer guaranteed safe usage of personal information or safe. Kailangan pa din naman legitimate and within the bounds of law. Okay? How can data privacy laws be adapted to address growing use of artificial intelligence and other emerging technologies? That's a good question. How can data privacy law be adapted to address the growing use of artificial intelligence? Meron na ba talaga? Meron na, pero masyado pang konti. So, basically, hindi pa naman siguro niyan. This question is about legislating. You should ask these ones to the legislative department. I think, how can data privacy law be adapted to address the growing use of artificial intelligence and other emerging technologies? Because in that case kasi, before naman nagpapas ng mga batas ang ating legislators, they conduct committee hearings, mga reports, which I don't have at the moment. So, I don't know. Artificial intelligence. Okay, we go on. Move on. Good morning, attorney. Any information kung may sub-offices po ba ng NPC dito sa Bicol? National Privacy Commission. As far as I know, yes. Um, um, the, uh, the, uh, the, the host will answer that for us. Mike's DICT DICT is connected with National Privacy Commission.
Yes po. Good morning, Attorney. Narinig po ako. Okay, so on behalf of the ICT, actually, the National Privacy Commission has an office po sa regional office, Legazpi City. And of course, if you have any reports regarding po the violations, any violations of your data privacy rights, you can just report them po. First of all, sa provincial office ni DICT, we can endorse the report as well sa National Privacy Commissions. If wala po kayong means to go to the National Privacy Commission Regional Office or even contact them, so we can also assist you here sa aming mga provincial offices. Medyo mahina yung audio ko. Okay, sige, I'll adjust. Sorry po. Ayan. Medyo okay na po ba? Medyo mahina yung aking microphone. Sige, I'll try to adjust po. Okay na po ba?
Yan, okay naman.
Okay, there we go. I'm so sorry, guys. So we're having a technical difficulty at the moment, pero hopefully naririnig na ako. So on behalf of DICT, there is an office po of the National Privacy Commission, I think sa regional office nila, Legazpi City. Pero if you have any reports regarding the violations of your data privacy rights, you can also submit your reports kay DICT provincial offices. We have provincial offices all over Bicol. So sa lahat po ng probinsya meron po ang DICT. You can just go to their provincial office and we can endorse your report or help you, assist you on your reports to the National Privacy Commission. pag wala kayong means to go to their office or even contact po their office. So we can help you, assist you in any way we can. So yan. So DICT is also part um, of the initiative ng National Privacy Commission to promote this kind of like awareness and help our community or the citizen to defend, of course, their rights as a data subject. So ayan. So, attorney?
Thank you, Ma'am Ledeline. Oh, sa Rawis, Legazpi City, if I heard you correctly. Rawis, Legazpi City ang ang sub-office ng National Privacy Commission. Okay, next question. Hello po, attorney. I would like to ask kung halimbawa, I am a parent ng legal age na anak ko and I installed an app that will track his or her location to his or her phone. Na-violate po ba ang DPA? Thank you. Balik tayo dun sa limitation. Anyway, hindi ko na mahanap. When it comes to family data, family and personal information, it's not included under the Data Privacy Act. Nandito yan kasi papakita ko sa inyo yung mismong batas. Kasi meron din naman yung may mga limitation din naman. Is he still living in your mga ganyan na tanong. You should um, you should probably inform kasi hindi na siya minor, so it's the best to be honest with your kasi hindi na siya minor eh. Pero when it comes to family matters, family, pinasa ko yun sa inyo kanina, right? Ito lang mahanap eh. Yung exemption siguro. Anyway, mahanap nyo yan dito sa slides ko. Nandiyan yan sa slides ko. Basta basically, ang family information or personal family information or lahat ng tao na na nasa loob ng isang residence or family home, pwede kayong mag-process ng personal information nila. But only in so far as um, it is legitimate. So, tingin mo, is it legitimate to track your child na na nasa legal age na? Oops. JP, sir. Mostly, if you are using basic or pre-apps, limited ang offered security. Thus, what are the essentials to consider to ensure data privacy safety, especially in AI apps? Ano AI apps? I I believe I'm too old for this yet. I don't know AI apps. If you can clarify, JP Sereo, hindi ko na alam yan. So, well, I will just answer this generally, no? Pwede tayong magtanong sa data protection officers natin kung bakit kinukuha yung mga information. Di ko kasi alam itong AI apps, pero kapag kapag may information process, personal information processor or controller, meron niyang data protection officer na pwede mong tanongin kung ano ang mga data safety or data privacy safety na ginagawa nila. And pwede mo din sa kanilang tanongin, katulad nung sinabi ko sa inyo, you have the right to be informed and to access all the information, yeah, the data privacy officer, you can ask them kung ano yung mga ginagawa nila dun sa information mo. There is transparency. So if kulang yung mga data privacy safety na ginagawa nitong mga AI apps, well, you can contact the data privacy officer to correct or rectify or to do something about it before you give your personal information. If di nila ayusin, well, you can always report naman siguro to the National Privacy Commission provided you made your request to the data protection officer insofar as not to crowd the National Privacy Commission with complaints, too much complaints na pwede naman na magawa without without going to the National Privacy Commission. Any other questions po? Wala na po. Oops.
Attorney, may question po ata sa chat box, yung may legal precedents po ba regarding shoulder surfing and what consequences for individuals caught engaging in this activity? Just curious lang po kasi na-experience ko.
Ano ang shoulder surfing? Sorry, di ko alam yan. Shoulder surfing. First time to encounter
Nag-question
that
po,
word.
paki-define po ng shoulder surfing para mas
Hi, attorney. I think regarding shoulder surfing, parang it's a situation where habang ikaw as an individual, siguro in a public place or even in a private place, nag-browse ka sa phone mo or even in your computer and a person behind you or even nasa gilid mo,
Okay.
tinitingnan niya yung binabrowse. So parang over the shoulder surfing.
Okay.
Parang ganon.
Well, wala akong nakitang legal precedents or a jurisprudence sa shoulder surfing. Pero syempre, kapag siguro pinamamalita niya or chinismis niya, there's a crime there naman na nakuha niya yun illegally. Baka kasama pa nga yan sa Data Privacy Act. Pero no legal precedents. Anyway, circumstances can change the opinions. Other circumstances naman may change the opinion of it can be criminal. So, if ever na magkaroon ng shoulder surfing and you have evidence, kasi in court pala, it's a matter of evidence. Kung ano lang ang kaya mong patunayan, yun lang ang posible mong panalaman. Okay? Ito si Mr. Giuliano, nasagot ko na po yung tanong niyo. Ito, di ba? Na-conducting.
Yes
Good.
po, attorney. Nasagot na po yung tanong. And I think actually we can conclude na the question and answer portion and indeed we can also support the statement of attorney as she answered kanina yung ano yung tawag nun regarding sa AI apps on how can we ensure that our data privacy are protected. So of course, yun nga sabi ni attorney, nagsisimula yan sa atin. So basahin natin yung mga policies and of course, standard na sinusunod ng mga applications before we create or we give them information on creating your accounts. Kasi it's better that we are informed. Kasi yon, our consent is very important. We always say this sa ating mga engagement na kung sa cybersecurity, of course, ano yun? Think before you click. Dito naman sa data privacy, think before you click and say yes. So, importante ang oo natin, guys. Pag may red flag, iwas na. Ayun. So, thank you very much, attorney, for accommodating the questions of our participants here sa Zoom. I think there
Thank
are
you
no
for accommodating me.
questions. Yes po. I think there are no questions na din naman sa Facebook comment section. So, Ma'am Maika. Ayun. So for a moment, we'll be sharing again our screen, of course, to award a certificate of appreciation to attorney for being our resource speaker for today's session. I hope, I think I can speak on behalf of our participants that really we have gained a lot of clarifications regarding the Data Privacy Act kasi some of the sections nga talaga ay very vague. So, mas naintindihan natin lalo yung mga terminologies na ginamit. So, thank you very much, attorney, for a moment. Ayun, I hope all your questions were answered and clarified by attorney as well as in our part. So if you have any more questions, you can also chat our Facebook page para naman kung sakali may time kami, we can also answer your questions through our Facebook pages. So ayan, Ma'am Maika.
We come now to the awarding of Certificate of Appreciation to our resource speaker. So the citation reads, this certificate is awarded to Attorney Julian O. Bontanares for sharing her knowledge and expertise as a resource speaker during the webinar entitled Legal Safeguards Navigating Data Privacy in the Digital Era from a Legal Lens of the Department of Information and Communications Technology Region 5, Sorsogon through the ICT Literacy and Competency Development Bureau or the ILCDB Tech for Ed DTC initiative on February 26, 2024 via Zoom.us platform and Facebook. So this will be signed by our regional director, OIC regional director, Rachel Ann P. Grapator. May I request, attorney, to please open up your cam para magkaroon tayo ng photo opportunity. Ayan. Unfortunately, naka-webinar type lang po tayo ngayon. So, parang tayo lang dalawa, attorney, ang mag-photo ops. So, sino ba mag... Okay, go.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay, there we go. Thank you very much, attorney.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Ayan, so there we go. Presented on your screen is the evaluation form. So please do accomplish our evaluation form before leaving the Zoom room or even closing the Facebook Live. So the link is also presented on the screen. You can just grab your phone, your devices, and scan the QR code, and it will redirect you po sa ating evaluation form. This form will be closed at midnight today. So make sure po na ma-accomplish siya, hindi na siya makalimutan. Kasi as per discussion ni Ma'am Maika kaninang umaga, of course umaga pa naman, kaninang start ng ating webinar that this is a part of the certificate requirement natin for the issuance or assuring na meron kayong digital certificate for attending this webinar. So make sure na ma-accomplish po. We have also sent the link po sa ating chat box and we'll be commenting as well the evaluation form sa ating Facebook Live. So make sure to accomplish this one. And quick reminders lang, also, thank you very much everyone pala on attending or being with us on a Monday morning for this productive webinar on legal guardians on the Data Privacy Act of 2012. And we hope we can see you again next time sa ating future events. And of course, please like and follow DICT Region 5 Sorsogon Facebook page as well as the DICT Region 5 Bicol Facebook page. And we have an ongoing initiative on the Tech Talks Thursday 2024. So you can expect that we will be having another session, episode 3 of the Tech Talks Thursday 2024 of the DICT Region 5 ILCDV Tech for Ed DTC project. So please like our Facebook page, follow, and you will know more on the future announcement po ng ating future webinars. If you want to know more, of course, of the activities being conducted by our provincial offices, yung kanilang mga addresses for your reports on data privacy violations, you can just go ahead and check them out sa ating Facebook. They have separate Facebook pages, or you can just go ahead and follow yung ating regional Facebook page kasi naandun na lahat ng information. So again, thank you very much everyone on behalf of DICT Region 5 Sorsogon Provincial Operations Office. We will see you again on our next initiative. Thank you very much everyone.